My daughter has these little characters that sing and tell stories, and they keep getting misplaced. So I want to build a little shelf for these so they have a home and maybe they won't get lost anymore. The idea I have is to make a spot on the shelf to hold the box with a small lip around it, and then right next to that, have spots to place the different characters. Having a spot on the wood for the characters to go won't really solve the issue of them getting lost, but since the characters are magnetic, I want to try taking these little metal plates from my last project and embedding that in a little bit of epoxy, so that way when the characters are placed on that spot, they'll be attracted to that metal. Alright, before I go ahead with wood selection and actually start building this project, I need to make sure this idea actually works. I have this sample piece with the metal already embedded in that epoxy. I'm going to plane this down so I can test out different depths for that piece of metal. This first one's going to have the piece of metal at an 1/8 inch deep. This middle one's going to be 3/16, and this last one's going to be a 1/4 inch deep. And that'll let me compare the different depth to see how it affects the pull of the magnet. I'm going to go ahead and say I don't recommend this due to the risk involved. Because there is metal in this piece and the planer does spin extremely fast, I can just see if something went wrong and one of those pieces of metal contacted a planer knife, it could be pretty catastrophic. Now to test out the pull of the magnet on those different depths, I'm going to be using the Moana character because it's not the heaviest, but it's also not the lightest. It's a good medium. This is going to be a 1/4 inch. Nope. This is 3/16. That's better. Nope. And then finally an 1/8. Alright, I think I'm going to go with that. Not that it has any sort of real life application, but here's an upside down test. This is a 1/4 inch. Doesn't even stick. 3/16. That sticks. And then obviously an 1/8 is going to stick. I'm in the middle of planing some cottonwood and I'm actually thinking about using this piece for this project. This one's currently at 1 inch thick. I want to plane this down to 7/8 so that way when I plane it again with that epoxy, it's closer to 3/4 for the final thickness. I made a mock-up on this piece of scrap wood so I can kind of dial in this design. The box is going to go right here and it's going to have a small lip that's a 1/2 inch wide that goes around 3 sides. 1.5 inches next to that lip is where those first spots are going to be, and then after that those spots are going to be 2 inches on center. I originally wanted 3 rows of tin so I could have 30 spots, but I felt like the 3 rows made the characters a little bit crowded. So I'm going to settle on 2 rows, and if I need more spots, I'll just build another shelf. Over here, I was playing with a couple different measurements for the placement. I think I like this one the most. This is 1 3/8, and that's the distance from this midline. I'm going to be ripping this piece down to 5 3/4, and that's going to work out perfectly because I'll be able to use this piece that I cut off for the lip that goes around that box.
Let's make a movie with you, baby. I just wanna movie with your loving.
I've had issues in the past when using epoxy with cottonwood, with the color from the epoxy bleeding out into those surrounding wood fibers. To try and reduce these effects, I'll rub clear epoxy around the edges before I set the metal plates, and then let that dry. So hopefully when I add the tinted epoxy, it won't bleed as bad. lip that's going to go around the box is going to be a 1/2 inch thick, so I need to make this piece of wood a little bit thinner.
I just wanna move it with your loving.
I'd originally wanted this lip to be a 1/2 inch tall, but after seeing the comparison, I think I like the 5/8 better. Before I attach these pieces, I need to cut out a space for this charger, so that way when the box is sitting on the shelf, it's sitting flat and it doesn't have a large gap underneath it. I really like how this turned out. I made sure to let my daughter choose some of the design elements like color of epoxy and style of brackets. I hope this will work better at keeping all these pieces together, and I think it was actually the perfect timing because she's probably going to get more of these characters for Christmas. And like always, thanks for watching. I'll see you on the next one.